what's up everyone, welcome back to my channel. As you guys can see by the title of this video, today I am doing another collab. I've been doing a lot of collabs actually this past month, I think, yeah, and I'm enjoying it, you know. So funny enough, I think people know where South Korea is, but at the same time, even some of my family members are still like, hey, wait, when are you coming back from China? I'm like, I'm not in China. I've never been to China. So it's actually wild that people in South Africa still cannot differentiate between China, Japan. You know, like one of my other friends was like, hey friend, like how's Japan? I'm like, I'm not in Japan. You know, it's crazy. But I have a guest today on my channel who is in China and I'm in South Korea, and I love her channel so much. Like, especially her story times are just insane, like dating, you know. I think you guys always ask me about dating in Korea or dating, how's it dating abroad, and honestly I don't know, but by the time I moved here I was already in a relationship, so I was never single coming to Korea. But people who are single have their own stories, and she's just one of those people who does tell her story times. So make sure that you check out her channel, or at least that story time specifically. I'll link it up here because wow, there's actually more than one. So I'll link the first one, then you have to like follow up to the other one because I can't, like, it's just a movie. But anyways, this is an interview, but obviously we cannot see each other because of COVID, and obviously she's in a different country. So I tried this, which I have done a collab similar to this before, where I record the questions, she records her answers, and I'm just gonna mash it up into this little cute interview. Informative. I hope it works out as much as I think it's going to work out. But anyways, I'm not gonna keep you guys waiting any longer. To my lovely guest, please introduce yourself, your name, and where are you from in South Africa?
Hello everyone, my name is Thabby, also known as Thabby Shenge. I am currently working and staying in China. I work as an ESL teacher, but originally I am from South Africa. I would like to say thank you very much to Palesa for giving me such an amazing opportunity to come here and share this important information with you guys, just in case you'd like to come and work in China.
Hi Thabby, thank you for introducing yourself. I'm so happy that you're on my channel, finally. So my next question for you is, where are you currently working? How long have you been working there, and how did you find out about this opportunity?
I am currently staying in the city based in Jiangsu province, which is Suzhou, and I've been staying here for a year, but I've been in China for the past 2 years. I heard about this opportunity on Facebook through a friend that I went to the same university with. So he was posting that he was in Beijing, and I had already heard about this opportunity, but I didn't know anyone personally at that time. So I went to inbox him on Facebook and I was asking him about this opportunity, and lucky enough he was a person that was willing to share all the information. So he told me what I needed to get, how I needed to do things, and he also recommended to me an agent that I can use to move to China. And this agency was also an agency that was recommended by some people. He didn't use the agent, but he recommended that if I want to use an agent, that's an agent that I can use, and I was really grateful for that. But yeah, to answer the question, yes, I got the opportunity, or heard about the opportunity through Facebook.
As you know, in South Korea, if you want to come here, there's many ways. You can use Hagwon, you can use Epic, you can use GOE, etc, etc. But in China, we don't really know the agencies. Well, personally, I don't know. So if people want to come to China, what agency should they use, or do you recommend?
So I used an agent to move to China, and the name of the agent is Kelvin. I'm going to link the details that you guys can use to contact him. He was very, very helpful because he actually helped me with collecting my documents, the process I had to take in order to secure a job. He was there when I was doing interviews, and he even helped me to book my flight. Okay, he met me when I was supposed to go to China, and he dropped me off at the airport, gave me all my documents that I'd sent to him when he was authenticating them. And yes, that's how helpful the agent really was. So I really recommend that you guys can use the agent as well.
So do you teach at public schools or private schools, and what's the difference?
So I'm currently working at a kindergarten which is privately owned, and the difference with us is that a public school is actually owned by the government, and a private school is actually owned by a group of people or just an individual. Last year I worked at a training center. I would say it's a private school focusing on what the students need to improve. So most training centers focus on things like Mandarin, math, physics, science, or whatever. They get to go to that school specifically, and that school specifically focuses on helping the students improve more on that. And I was working at a training center that was focusing more on improving English, right? So yeah, that's the difference between a public school and a private school here in China.
So if you want to come to Korea, mostly, especially EPIC program, most of us all have to do the interviews and do all the application processes online. Is it the same for China, or do you have to do it in China? How does it work?
We do most of our interviews online. So when I was back in South Africa, I did the interviews online and secured the job online. They sent me the contract. I signed the contract. I was happy with the terms, and I sent it back to them. And even when I moved to China, I actually realized that that's the same thing. The only time you get to go to a school, because schools, like China is big, and let's say maybe you find a school in another province, you cannot just travel and go there for the interview. So they make it very easy for you. You just do the interviews online, and the only time you get to go to the school is after you have signed the contract and you are actually going to start working at that school, or unless you specifically ask to go and see the school before you sign the contract, of which you can also do, I believe, because I know a lot of people that have done that. I have personally never done that, but I know people that have done that. They go and see the school, then after that they sign the contract. But yes, to answer the question again, most of the interviews are conducted online.
So the starting salary in South Korea is obviously 26,000 Rand, and I've spoken about this and other benefits that comes with teaching in Korea. If you haven't watched that video, that's the video that many people watched, and they basically convinced them to come live here. I'll link it up here. Check it out. But I'm curious to know, like, what is the starting salary as a teacher in China?
So before COVID, when I came to China, the starting salary was 13,000 RMBs, which is equal to 29,000 rands. And this also depends, I'd like to mention that this also depends on the type of city that you're going to, because there are first tier cities, second tier cities, and third tier cities. So the first tier cities are like the most expensive cities, like Beijing, Shanghai. And then the second tier cities are like your middle, where I currently stay in Suzhou. And we have third tier cities, which are like the cheapest cities, where everything is like, maybe a cab starts from 6 RMBs, which is like 12, 13 rands. And in Beijing, which is like the most expensive city, probably a Didi or taxi starts from 18 RMBs, which is like 32 to 34 rands. So that's something that you should put in mind in terms of the starting salary. But then because of COVID happening, salaries have increased because borders are closed and there's a shortage of teachers. So what has happened is the starting salary has actually increased. So it has been 18,000. Yes, I would say it now starts from 18,000, which is 41 to 42,000 rands. So yeah, that is the starting salary.
So the basic requirements for coming to teach in Korea, you have to have a degree or advanced diploma in any major. You need to have a TESOL or TOEFL certificate, and you obviously have to not have any criminal record, as well as just be healthy. What are the basic requirements to come teach in China?
All right, so the documents that you need to move to China is you need to have a degree. You need to have a TOEFL if your degree is not a degree that is based in teaching. If you don't have a Bachelor of Education degree, you have to do a TOEFL. And then you need to also have a no criminal record check. You need to do your medicals, and you also need to make sure that you have experience. That would really help. It doesn't matter if you don't have experience, it's not compulsory, but if you have experience, it does help you in terms of securing good jobs, and also in terms of your salary. That does help. Like, your starting salary is also determined by that.
In Korea, our contracts usually run 1 year long, and you renew it every year. How long are the contracts in China? Are they typically the same, or are they different?
So our contracts are normally up to 1 year. Most schools offer you like 1 year contracts. Then if you want to renew, then you can renew again, or if they want you to renew, they can ask you if you are interested in renewing or not. I know some schools that also offer more than 2 years. I know some schools that offer 2 years, 3 years, and then after that, if you also still want to continue with renewing your contract, you can still do the same. But most of the time, it's just 1 year, and you decide if you want to renew with the school or not. If not, then that's also fine. You can move to another school and start from and start a new contract there.
So teaching in Korea is actually such a good job, and we have a lot of benefits. The major ones that I can think of at the top of my head is that they pay 50% of our medical aid. They give you a fully furnished apartment, and they do pay for our flights to come to South Korea. So what are the major benefits would you say you have teaching in China?
So part of the benefits that we have as teachers working in China is that you get your medical aid paid for you. You also get your social insurance paid for you. You get flight reimbursements, and you get bonuses. Some schools offer bonuses in case you finish your contract and you want to renew again. You will get a bonus, or if you finish your contract and you don't want to renew, they will still give you your bonus. So those are and you also get a free furnished apartment. If you don't get a free furnished apartment, you will get a housing allowance. So with these two, you just need to make sure that you know which one you really prefer. So if you prefer a school's apartment, so that means everything is going to be on the school. The only thing that you have to pay for is water and electricity. But if you are, and you don't have to pay anything towards the rent. But if you decide that you want to get allowance, which I feel like probably is better than the school giving you an apartment, I would say you can take the apartment provided by the school if you are still new and if that's what your school is offering. But if you are like on your second year or third year, I would suggest you just get an apartment that just take the allowance from the school and look for your own apartment. So with getting an apartment, with getting allowance, what I would say is like a con is that let's say you get an apartment that is probably going to cost, let's say the school decides to give you allowance for 2,000 rand, and you can get an apartment probably for like 3,000. Then that means you have to add the extra 1,000, or you can get an apartment for 2,500. You would have to add the 500, and you will be the one paying for utilities and stuff like that. But what is good about that is that you are in contact with the landlord. If anything happens, you know that you are in contact with the landlord, and the school will always give you your monthly allowance all the time. So those are part of the benefits that we get. We also get free furnished apartments, or you can choose to get a allowance, which is normally just 2,000 RMBs, which is like 4,200 rands.
And last but definitely not least, for someone who's watching this video and you want them over, they're like, hey, I think I want to go to China, what advice do you have for them?
All right, so with advice that I would give anyone that would like to come and work in China is do your research. You can never be wrong with doing your research. If you have an interview with the school and the school decides to give you an offer, there's a group on Facebook. It's called South Africans Living in China. You can always go on that group, get there and ask anyone, hey, has anyone ever worked for this school? Where is it based? There are a lot of people, there are a lot of South Africans who are on that group that stay all over China, and most of them, probably one of them has worked or is working in the school that you are asking about, and I'm sure they won't mind giving you information on what is the school about, how is the school and stuff like that. And also make sure that you prepare, okay? Make sure that you prepare in advance, because a lot of things are different here compared to being in South Africa. So you might want to be prepared for stuff like that. You must make sure that you do your research in terms of the city that you are going to. Like I mentioned with the starting salaries, you don't want to go to Beijing and start on a salary that is of a third tier city, because you are going to be in trouble. Not that you would be in trouble per se, but you won't be able to save as much as you would like to save, because everything is expensive in Beijing. So I would suggest that when doing your research, do your research about where you are going, do the research about the school, the starting salary in that place, do your research about what is the cost of living like and the weather in that place. and also bring your essentials, basic essentials like Panado. There's no Panado in China. Disprin, if you're a person that suffers from something, like, just bring whatever it is that you are essentially going to need. Don't pack a lot of clothes. Clothes are cheap in China, so this is my advice, because with me, I packed up a lot of clothes, and I now I regret it, because I ended up buying more clothes than the clothes that I had here, and all the essential necessities that I needed, no one told me to bring them, so I just came with clothes. And when I got here, I was like, oh, so if I go back home now, I know what I have to pack in my bag when I decide to come to China again. Please make sure you read the news. You guys keep yourselves updated, because a lot of things have just been changing when it comes to teaching in China. So I also have a channel, and it's about my life being based in China. I share story times about myself being a Black person staying in China, and what my experience is like as a foreigner as well. I also share story times. I also share important information on new regulations that are coming, and since there were new regulations, I did a video on that. If you guys would like to know on what has changed ever since I've been in China, I do sit downs, talk about things I wish I knew before I came to China. I also travel, so I do vlogs, and yeah, that's basically it. I hope this video was very, very, very useful. Thank you very much, guys, for tuning in. Until next time, bye bye.
Thank you so much once again, Thabby, for doing this collaboration with me. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you do have any questions, make sure that you comment down below. I will also link her channel down in the description box. Make sure that you subscribe right now. I'll link up her channel right now. And thank you. She's a vibe, guys. I think you guys saw that she's a vibe. And you know what, guys, I wouldn't lie, China looks like a vibe. Like the Instagram people that I do follow that are in China are giving me so much FOMO. I have considered it. I don't know if I'll go one day. Definitely I'll go travel. I just don't know if I'd go work there, but it's definitely not off the books, you know. Why not? Why not? Thank you all for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. I will see you next time. Peace.